Hey gang, Spade at the Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at Transformers Energon Deluxe Class Starscream. Now, for those of you who have not actually watched the Energon cartoon, Starscream is kind of a resurrected ghost of Armada Starscream. A little weird. Resurrected by Megatron himself. Yeah, a definite interesting plot point. The figure comes with two weapons, a sword and a gun, but then he also has some built-in weaponry to his alternate mode and to his robot mode. Now, eagle-eyed viewers will notice that this is a very, very similar jet mode, and this figure also has a very similar transformations to Beast Wars the Second Starscream. And by very similar, I mean almost exactly the same. So in this mode, he does have two different attack modes. The first of the attack modes is simply just taking the two different weapons and attaching them to the pegs underneath the wings. Now, you could do that in a couple of ways. There are a bunch of different peg holes on these guns, or on the gun and on the sword. And there we go. That is its one attack mode. Its second attack mode is actually my favorite, personally. Take the wings of the F-22 and kind of just unpeg them from the body, and then rotate them around. Or, I'm sorry, no, you don't rotate them around. You just unpeg them from the body. And you can fold them almost all the way down, and you have missile launchers hidden in there. And they do fire. They don't fire that far, but they do fire. And just make sure you put the missiles in back correctly. Okay, so, as I said, the transformation for this guy is very, very similar to Beast Wars the Second Starscream. We're going to start by folding up the landing gears, and then unpegging the undercarriage, which is going to form the legs, and folding them completely forward. Now, they don't snap into place, it just kind of rests there. Then we're going to take the entire top section and rotate it, and then reach back here and fold, or push, to fold out the arms. And this is always a little bit difficult, because things catch and generally don't want to move. There we go. And then we're going to take this whole section and fold it down while rotating it. And then pegging it all into place, like that. And then folding up that part. And flip out the feet. And move the legs around. And here we have Starscream in robot mode. Now you can put an Energon chip right here on his Decepticon symbol. His face is very, very dark, but a little bit of light will help that. His head is molded in complete black. There is very little light piping in the back. There is a tiny bit, but it doesn't really work all that well on my figure. Overall, though, the robot mode is good looking and does look very similar to the other Transformers that have this similar transformation style. Now, he can wield both weapons individually in this mode. So he can hold his gun, and he can hold his sword, with no problems whatsoever. You can also combine the weapons, which is a nice touch. And we just simply take them and plug them together. And then Starscream will hold the giant sword of top heaviness in the one hand, as you can see. However, his joints are not tight enough to be able to hold it sometimes, and it'll just end up flopping to the side. But otherwise, it actually looks pretty cool for a giant gun sword thing. Squall Lionheart would be very jealous. You can also deploy the wing missiles in this mode, so simply unpeg them from the back, and then rotate them up like that. And that is actually a very nice touch. I really, really dig that a lot, though it does make the figure look a little weird. There are a few nagging issues with this figure, but before we get into that, let's talk about the posability. And posability is quite good. Head is on a swivel, so it only swivels. Arm is on a swivel elbow or swivel shoulder joint as well, but the wings prevent much of the articulation there in the shoulder. Upper arm, a swivel, more than a 90-degree bend at the elbow. Fists do not move. No torso movement. Top of the leg is a ball joint. Then there is almost a 90-degree at the knee, and a little bit in the feet. Not much, though. Problems with this mold. Well, my problem with the mold is, one, the connection point here doesn't always stay together. And the other issue is there's nothing pegging the shoulders in. That's always been a problem with this overall mold or style of transformation. There's nothing holding those shoulders in. Doesn't peg in anywhere. They just kind of float there freely. And you better hope that those pins are tight. Otherwise, you're just going to have a really floppy shoulder. Overall, this is a good figure. I like this figure a lot. And I have the repaint of him in the original Starscream Gen 1 colors. And I've never actually taken it out of the box. But I just have it sitting on a shelf. And it just looks good in those colors, so I leave it like that. But this is a fun figure. I recommend this figure. If you can find him on eBay or at a yard sale, he usually goes for pretty cheap, and he's generally worth it. He's a nice deluxe figure and fun. And the one other thing that I would really recommend if you get a hold of this figure is repaint him. Because even though the weird turquoise color here is cool, this clear plastic on the wings than on the shoulder is just a little weird for my taste. But otherwise, it's a fine figure. Definitely worthy of a repaint. In fact, you could repaint him to look like a Thundercracker or Skywarp. That'd be pretty cool. So I would definitely recommend Transformers Energon Starscream, and I'll catch you guys next time.